Welcome to our second session of Better Mind, Better Body. Actually, this is our second week of our Doc Talks. And we want to thank each and every one of you for coming here. So earlier, we burned some few calories. But right now, it's right time to digest naman some more information about transformation. And we also have here our special guests. But before introducing our special guest, may I call on my dream co-host partner, Yoli, our special guest. And also, thank you also for those who are tuning in by Zoom. We appreciate your time tuning in for this afternoon session. Joe? Get vlogger na yung
Hey, this is cool. It's my first time to use this. To all those online, good afternoon. To those who are here, thank you for taking the trip on a Saturday afternoon to join us. So to introduce our next speaker, let me just go through some credentials. First, he is a Doctor of Chiropractic degree from Logan University and College of Chiropractic, St. Louis, Missouri. He is a U.S. Board Certified Upper Cervical Chiropractic Specialist. He is a National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association U.S. member. It's here. He's a gem in the Philippines. And he is a part of the Association of Professional Chiropractors of the Philippines. He is a founding member, by the way. He is on the National Certification Committee on Chiropractic. He is a board member there. He is a clinic director for the N8 Upper Cervical Chiropractic Center with branches both in Makati and in Alabang. So hint, for those who are in Makati and Alabang, you can find him there. And alongside providing chiropractic care, he also teaches patients how to lead healthier lifestyles through exercise, nutrition, and detoxification. But that's his credentials. To me, he is one of my first friends as a co-parent in our daughter's schools in the South. I met him early on because our personalities match. Our stories are in sync, and it just so happened that the vision of Yoli and the vision of total wellness fits his chiropractic practice. And back then, when Yoli was just starting in the country, he was one of the first people to say yes. And almost 6 years into the business in the country, he is getting stronger and better every single day, not just with his body, which I will let him talk about, and his physical transformation, but also in the Yoli business. But enough about the introduction. I'm sure you want to hear from him. For those online, you're in for a treat this afternoon. For those here in the Yoli Experience Center, you get to see this dashing, handsome gentleman in front of you face to face. Sorry, onliners, you should have come here. Anyway, these guys here get to hug him afterwards. Anyway, without further ado, I'd like to call on my good friend, Dr. Miguel Flores. This is cute.
Okay. I'll just like this.
Lapel type. Wait, sorry.
We're doing. Oh, here. We're kind of just like. Okay, all right. Hey, Joe, thank you so much for that introduction. You really know how to make something really special. And thank you, of course, for everyone watching here, taking time to be with us this afternoon. I have to say I'm excited to do this. I haven't done a talk like this in quite some time. But I'm excited because this afternoon is going to be a very powerful afternoon for each of you, particularly guests and new members, those that have not experienced the transformation kit yet firsthand. You get to experience that here shortly as well. Now, as we go through today's talk, many of you are going to be thinking not only of yourselves. As we go through this short talk, many of you will start to be thinking of other people. So people are going to start popping into your minds, people that you feel that need to hear this message. I was just asking Boots earlier in her GM, and she said that the Doc Talks happen on a regular basis. So please be sure to invite the people that you've been thinking of as we go through this talk. Please be sure to invite them on the next Doc Talks. Okay. Now the information I'm going to be going over today is going to be short and sweet. Actually very simple to grasp. But the system kasi behind this to me, is so powerful that it has literally transformed the lives of thousands of others that have applied it. And it's really my hope that you and your family start to apply this system and the principles behind the system from now and really for the rest of your lives. So before we begin, can I just ask you guys a question? Let's begin with a question. If today, guys, if today was your 60th birthday, and let's say it just so happened that all of you have friends and family, loved ones that were also turning 60 today. So it just so happened you guys all had the same birthday. How many of you, show of hands, would want not only you to be healthy, but everyone else that you love and care about as well? How many of you guys want all your friends and family healthy on your 60th birthday?
It's not gonna happen for me.
Because?
I'm already 61 this year.
Well, hey, you're the exception. But then, congratulations, it's a good job. Now, I only say that because the reality is it's not likely to happen. Unfortunately, only 1 in 1,000 people are actually healthy on their 60th birthday. In fact, 5 out of 6 people will eventually develop cancer or heart disease sometime in their lives. Now, does anybody know why that is the case? Okay, you don't have to go any further. The answer is lifestyle. You're right. Exactly, it's the lifestyle choices that we make. Lifestyle is a big factor when it comes to where we're going to eventually go, when it comes to our health as well. In fact, only 5% of disease processes are genetically linked. The other 95% are all lifestyle based. They're all lifestyle derived. So really, it's our habits. It's our daily habits that we choose to do. And that eventually compounds. For example, if you guys eat, let's say on the weekends, you treat yourself to, let's say, a slice of cake on Friday, you have another slice on Saturday, and then it's Sunday after Mass, okay, let's have another slice of cake. But when you look at it like that, that's not much. But then if you multiply that throughout the week, that's 12 slices. I'm sorry, throughout the month, that's 12 slices. In a year, that's almost 150 slices of cake, you know. So up front, it doesn't seem like much, but then it magnifies as time goes by. So I didn't really mean to ruin your weekends, but yeah, it's just if you think of it because that way, that's the reality of it. So genetics loads the gun, so to speak, but at the end of the day, it's lifestyle that always pulls the trigger. And the big component behind lifestyle is really nutrition. Where am I in my slide? Alright, so this is a surprise. I didn't know this was going to be up here. But yes, that is my before and after photo. This was sometime, I think, 2017. And I believe that was last year. Or sorry, 2 years ago. I think I look somewhat similar. So yeah, so that was around 2016, 2017. That's when I was first introduced to Yoli, of course by my good friend Joe. I wasn't really focused on the business aspect of it until later on, actually late last year now. But I was an avid customer, avid user, and eventually it did give me the transformation that I was seeking as well. I've always been known as the fat kid. My metabolism is actually very slow, or it was very slow. And so I really have to make the proper choices with regards to my health because it's very simple for me to kind of blow up overnight. So yes, thankfully I've been able to maintain this figure thus far. Next slide, please. Okay, just a disclaimer, any information presented here is only intended for educational purposes and not meant to diagnose, prescribe, treat, or cure health concerns and diseases. Alright. So, I'm just going to touch on this briefly because this is an important segue to what we're going to talk about next. One of the best ways to keep ourselves in optimal health is by balancing body's pH. We'll explain and go into that further here later on. And that means looking at what we consume on a daily basis. So essentially, what we just need to know here is everything on the right side are foods that will help balance our body pH or alkalize us. We'll go into depth into that later. But so basically, most fruits and vegetables are alkalizing, and the acidifying foods, meats, fish, sugars, dairy, grain products, chocolate, coffee, tea, fruit juice, and soda, and alcohol. I did want to touch a little bit on this because that's not always the case when it comes to certain foods here. For example, with the meat, that will only be more acidic if you are eating it or getting it or sourcing it from animals that are, let's say, if you're going to eat beef, if it's not sourced from a grass-fed source, then yes, that becomes harmful to your body. Because there is a proper 4:1 ratio that is found in grass-fed cows. So if you're going to eat grass-fed, that's actually okay. Same with the chicken. If you're going free range, organic, no antibiotics, that's okay also. That's not a problem. Same also with the fish. Fish is healthy if you're getting it from wild-caught sources. But as soon as you start eating fish, let's say raised in the farm, the fatty acid makeup is already different because they're eating fish feed. So that 4:1 ratio now is disrupted. It can go up to as much as 20:1 when you're eating farm-raised food. So again, meats are okay, fish are okay as long as you're sourcing it from the right sources. You're getting clean sources, right? But of course, that's not always practical in this day and age. Unless you live in a farm, then yes. So really, my suggestion here is just everything in moderation. Okay. All right, next slide. Okay. So this is the main meat of the presentation. So I get asked all the time as a healthcare provider by patients, how can I help myself naturally lower my cholesterol? Or how can I help myself naturally lower my blood pressure, my blood sugar? Or how can I lose weight? And the important thing here is keep it off in a sustainable way. Or how can I get my energy back? And at the end of the day, I'm so tired, I can't anymore have time to go to the gym or play with my kids. So these are the things that I hear on a regular basis. So what I'm about to share with you guys today is the system that we actually recommend also at our practice. It is known as the Better Body System that comes in the form of a 28-day transformation. Now, I'm not sure what most people know about alkalinity, but when I ask patients about this, they usually have the same response. How many of you guys, before being introduced to Yoli, knew about alkalinity and how important it was to the body? Ikaw lang, okay. Right. So that's the same response you get from our patients. Whenever I ask about alkalinity, the only thing that they can tell me is water. Water being more alkaline, there are certain type of waters that you can now actually change the pH. And then from there, it's supposed to help you somehow. But that's about the extent of it. Let me share with you why pH is important in our body and why proper pH is important. At any given point kasi in time, our bodies already have a set pH. Cannot be any more, cannot be any less. We have to be in this happy medium. And as long as it's properly balanced, the body can function, it can perform, and it can do things that it was already designed to do, such as heal. But because of lifestyle habits, because of the foods that we choose to eat, because of stress, because of environmental toxins that we really don't have much control over, the body starts to veer off towards a more acidic state. And when that happens, this is where disease processes start to thrive. Things like cancer, heart disease, these are all inflammatory diseases. And when the body is in that particular acidic state, it just continues on. So if there was a way to reset that and rebalance the pH of the body, then now disease processes would have a hard time proliferating. And that's the purpose of this system. The main purpose of this system is to rebalance and reset body pH. However, the nice thing also about this is as that happens, your body's metabolic clock is also reset. So that is where the weight loss component of the system comes in. your body actually starts to, or the metabolism rather, starts to reset. We get this all the time also in the clinic. They say, you know, doc, I hardly eat. You know, my family thinks I starve myself. I hardly eat, but I still cannot lose the weight. And that's because of a syndrome called metabolic syndrome, which usually happens sometime between mid-30s onwards. Basically, the metabolism starts to slow down already. So it doesn't matter what you're eating or what you're not eating. You can be eating like a bird, but you're still going to have a harder time losing weight because, you know, umaandar yung metabolism kasi natin. So that's what happens in metabolic syndrome. So again, with this particular system, the way I see it and the way I see it with our patients, not only does it reset the body pH, get us into a more alkaline state, but it also resets the body's metabolic system as well. And then weight loss now becomes easier also for that individual. Okay. All right, next slide. So before we go into the products, it's also important to know that this system has two parts. It has two parts and it cannot do without the other. The first part of the Better Body system, the 28-day kit, is the eating style or the eating plan that goes with this. So everyone that gets a transformation kit will have this particular guidebook already inside the package. Okay? It uses a specific eating style called carb cycling. Carb cycling is exactly what it sounds like. There will be days that you will be having carbs, and there will be days that you will not be having carbs. You're all familiar with keto, right? Now, just so that you know, keto is a very, very, very effective form of nutrition that you can actually use for weight loss. My only challenge with keto is that it is not sustainable for most people, especially if you live in the Philippines. I mean, how can you not, you know, in a land of rice and noodles, how can you not eat carbohydrates? You know? So that is the only challenge with regards to that. What I like about carb cycling are two things really. The first thing that I like about carb cycling is that it doesn't deprive you. You can still eat your carbs. Diba? The other thing I like is that it retrains our body to burn fat and to build muscle regardless of whether you are in a carb-depleted state or in a state where you have carbs on that particular day. So doesn't that seem more sustainable with a program that you can actually eat carbs and still enjoy the foods you like? So that is that's the first part of the system, by the way, is the eating plan. The second part, and I kind of look at this as the magic sauce, is the products, of course, or are the products that come with this system. So there are 5 products specially formulated to really add that 1-2 punch in. When you combine the product, which is designed to rebalance pH, reset the metabolic clock, you combine that with carb cycling, now something beautiful happens. It actually helps supercharge this system, and it makes weight loss and achieving your health goals more attainable at a quicker pace. So let's get into the products. Alkalite. So this is the first of the 5 products that you will get in the transformation kit. This is the flagship product, and this is where we should all start, because again, the purpose of this is really to balance body pH. And so this product will help achieve that. What I like about it is that it's also time released, so it doesn't go into your system all at once. It actually releases at certain times of the day to give you that acid neutralization effect. So you take the first serving in the morning, you take one before bedtime. That's already enough to keep you in a neutralized state throughout the day. One thing I also like about this is for athletes, this is good also. If you lead an active lifestyle, this also helps in your recovery because of the magnesium also found there. It helps with recovery. So you know when you get your muscle soreness, especially at a certain age, it's a little bit harder to usually before, you know, my 20s, I can bounce back after a day of working out. The next day I'm back in the gym. Takes a little bit longer for me now, but Alkalite helps also with the recovery. So very good also for athletes as well. All right, next slide. Okay, Passion and Thermoburn. This is the second of the 5 supplements. Passion is essentially, the way I see it, your coffee substitute. So I used to be an avid coffee drinker. I still like the taste of coffee, but ever since switching to passion, this has actually helped give me a cleaner boost of energy because of its thermal G. So not only do you get the clean caffeine from the green tea extract, but it is also combined with thermogenics such as guarana and yerba mate, which is going to help also reset the body's metabolic rate. Okay, before we talk about thermal burn, the passion also comes, it's all sugar-free, all sweetened with stevia, so perfect for diabetics as well. No acidity here at the same time. From nature to powder to body, so essentially it is sourced from natural whole plants, proteins, minerals, as well as botanicals. And then it is gently processed. It's never subject to high heat, so all those enzymes are still left alive and intact. And then they now formulate it and blend it into drinks that you can actually enjoy. So this is actually one of my favorite products from Yoli, particularly the peach mango. It was a close second to pina colada, but peach mango still kind of beat that up. Thermal burn is essentially the same thing as passion. Just some people, they just like to take their caffeine on the go, so they just take a serving of that and then off they go. Next slide, please. All right, the Yes Shake, the Yoli Essential Shake. A little bit lang about whey protein. No? Whey protein is derived from milk. So when milk is separated, they're separated to whey and casein, which is the more dairy form. So there's argument also that whey protein is actually okay for people that are lactose intolerant because it is siphoned, it is separated from the milk itself. So if you are lactose intolerant, I would still suggest that you try it because you may be surprised na kaya pa rin ng tiyan mo. You might be able to still process it properly because it's separated from the casein component, the dairy component, for most of the dairy components. Now, what I like about this shake is the fact that, again, remember we talked about earlier that other slide, so to tie into here, if you're getting it from grass-fed sources, that's still actually really, really good. It has that 4-to-1 ratio. This is derived from grass-fed sources as well, and it is undenatured, meaning it's not subject to high heat. Once you start processing whey protein or anything in particular, you actually kill off the enzymes. So this is undenatured, it's gently processed. You're actually getting all the nutrients that you will find in this particular shake. When you take an undenatured protein shake, such as whey, it actually helps the production of the body's natural or master antioxidant, called glutathione. So glutathione is the master antioxidant, which is helped produced when you get it from a grass-fed and an undenatured source. So that master antioxidant is now able to be produced more easily when you take a shake such as this. In fact, that's the reason why I take this, not just for the protein and recovery component, but because it helps produce that master antioxidant, which is very, very important for our detoxification of our cells. And it also has lean immune, so you're also getting vegetables and fruits also from this. Plus, it also is combined with probiotics for easier digestion. Right. Resolve, so this is our fiber supplement, so this is the fourth of the 5 supplements. Resolve is the fiber supplement. It contains glucomannan, which essentially, it's a botanical that helps, or actually expands into in our gut. That gives us that feeling of fullness, especially when you're on a system like this. You're going to be able to more easily complete the 28 days if you have some supplements such as this to help keep you full, and not try to reach out for that slice of cake. So this is something that is also very, very helpful in your quest to complete the 28 days as successfully as you possibly can. Next slide. So the last of the 5 products is Pure. So this is our probiotic supplement. Now, because you're going to be cycling from carb days and no carb days, you're going to be eating a lot of lean protein. Protein is a little bit slower to digest in the gut. And so when you include probiotics into your nutrition program on a daily basis, it helps break down the protein more easily, which then helps you in your digestion and helps also with your bowel movement, avoiding constipation and the like. And it has the Ganadan BC30 strain. What's nice about this strain is that it goes and penetrates the harsh environment of the stomach and it gets into your digestive tract intact. The other benefits of probiotics is its immune benefits. 80% of our immune health is found in our gut. So the healthier our gut, the better the microflora is, the better it will be also for our immune system. Hence, we had to include this also as part of the products in the transformation. So those are the products. Now we'll go over the meal plan. So like I said, we're using carb cycling. There will be days that we're going to be eating carbs. There will be days where we're not going to be eating carbs. So let's just go ahead and go over the sample meal plan here. Next slide. So it's as simple as orange and blue. So there will be days that you're going to have carbs. There will be days that you're going to limit your carb intake as well. Orange days are the days that you're going to be minimizing your carbs. The blue days are the days that you're going to be introducing carbs again back into your system. This is similar to that feast and famine lifestyle that our early ancestors had. Times when food was scarce, they would forage, they would hunt for their food. Those are the times that they're able now to feast when they do find food. The times they didn't, they had to fast. But this was actually a very, very healthy lifestyle during that time. So this kind of mimics that as well. Orange days, those are the days that you're sort of fasting, you're taking away the carbohydrate component of that. That way your body is forced to use nothing but fat to use for energy. Blue days, you introduce it again, and that's where now your body is training itself to burn fat regardless of which day it's going to be, whether it's a low carb day or a high carb day. So that's the whole concept. Orange days, again, this is your low carb day. So there's just a sample meal plan for the day. So you wake up, you take your passion, which is again the coffee substitute. That's the energy drink. You're going to take that alkali so that you can get your body pH to neutralize as soon as possible once you wake up. 30 minutes later, you're going to take your Yes protein. So again, you're getting that undenatured whey, you're getting grass-fed sources. It's a good way to start the morning with clean sources of protein, such as that shake. Then you have the mid-morning snack. So now you're going to have a serving of protein, you'll have your healthy fat, and an optional free veggie. Again, the portion sizes are all listed in that transformation booklet, the booklet that comes, the guidebook that comes with the program itself. So just make sure you look and see for men and women, because there's a certain portion size you're going to try to follow. So it's all written there. Then you're going to have your lunch. Again, it's a protein, healthy fat, optional free veggie. Mid-afternoon, you're going to have your protein, your healthy fat, optional free veggie, and here you can take another passion. If you feel you need that extra energy boost because the morning kind of wiped you out, go ahead and take that second passion here mid-afternoon. Again, this is clean source of caffeine. There is no crash. This is a very steady energy that climbs up like that. Or sorry, you get a clean source of energy that climbs up like that rather than spike. Dinner, you have your Yes shake. Now, for those that are beginning this, try to follow the nutrition plan as stated, only because it will simplify your life. So there are some alternatives here, but we're going to stick with this because it's also nice to end the meal a little bit lighter, not a heavy meal. As you can see here, it's another Yes shake, so you're going to be taking 2 Yes shakes for that day. Bedtime, another 2 alkalis to help again with the balancing of the pH, neutralize those acids, and then you're going to take 2 pure to help. That's the probiotics. That's someone that's going to help with the digestion. That way, the next morning you won't have any problems going to the bathroom. And then we have our blue days. So you wake up in the morning. So these are our carb days. Wake up in the morning. We have our passion. We have our alkaline again. Now we can add resolve. this is the one that's going to help us stay full, and it's our fiber supplement. So that's when you start to add resolve. 30 minutes later, you have again another yes shake. Mid-morning, another protein serving, healthy fat, any veggie, and now we get to have fruit. Now we get to have fruit, and again, the types of fruits and the serving sizes are all listed in the guidebook. We have our lunch, protein, optional healthy fat, complex carbs. This is now where you can have your complex carbs, any veggie, and then you're going to take 2 more resolve, or another serving of resolve, again, to just try to get that feeling of satiation as well. But honestly, and again, this is just personal experience. You eat a lot in this program. I don't know anyone who really goes hungry here, because I mean, there's a lot of food here that you're going to be eating.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard to go hungry with this type of program. And then mid-afternoon, we have our protein, healthy fat, any veggie. And then again, energy levels are kind of starting to drop. Go ahead and pick up that passion. Dinner, another yes shake. So even if you're able to eat carbs on this day, it's nice that you end dinner with a light meal and one that is low in carbs as well. Bedtime, too alkaline again to neutralize the acidity, and then too pure for your digestion as well. Okay? And that's about it. That's really everything when it comes to the transformation kit. It's very, very simple to understand. Any of you guys, of course, have questions, especially those that are about to start in their journey. If you have any questions with regards to how to apply it or how to start it, please reach out to any one of us, myself, or one that introduced the transformation kit to you. Really, anyone here in Yoli, they're all very helpful, and we're really here to help you as well. So please don't be scared to ask us any questions as well. Now, I wanted to end and close really with this. I guess as a healthcare provider also, what I've come to realize is that there are 2 mistakes that people make, that we as Filipinos make when it comes to our health. And that first mistake is that whenever a problem, a condition, or some sort of illness arises within us, we tend to look at it as something that's normal. My mom had that, my dad had that, my brother, my sister had that. So I'm destined to have that because it's genetic. High blood pressure, okay, so yeah, eventually I'll end up with that also. It's not like that. It's not like that. Just because your family members have it doesn't mean you're going to have it as well. Look into your lifestyle habits, look into your choices. The second mistake that we make is what we do with that particular problem. We either ignore it or we medicate it. If we ignore it, is the problem going to get better or worse? It's going to get worse. If we medicate it, yes, it will help. But if you continue leading that lifestyle that got you there in the first place, and you don't make any changes, eventually you're going to need more medication. And even worse, eventually you might even need to take a couple of medication, a cocktail of medication, for that same particular problem, because now you're in worse shape than you were than when the problem first started. So I feel personally that that doesn't have to be the case. I believe that the transformation kit really is the first place that you and your family should start. And I know a lot of you have been also, thinking of other people at this point, people that may have needed to hear this now. Like I said, we do these, Booth said that we do these doc talks on a regular basis. So please invite them to the next one. They're not going to regret it. So I hope that helps. And I think I'm going to pass the baton now to me.
Okay.
Am I passing it to you?
Perfect.
Thank you so much. Yes, you're welcome.
Those who are not here, FOMO sila. Kasi hindi nila nakita si Doc Miguel. Of course, before we end this day or before we end this session, we want to open the floor for Q&A talk. So, babalik ka dito. But, guys, take this opportunity to ask your questions about about anything that you feel you have in your head while going through your transformation journey. Sa mga nasa Zoom po, pwede nyo i-type yung mga questions nyo because let's ask them while our doctor is here. So, who wants to go first? Okay, RG. And then Tita Tina.
Okay, so regarding the meal base and protein base, in the program it says that what's that? Right? Yung breakfast ba? Or yung sa can you see the
Mid-morning.
mid-morning, yeah, the mid-morning.
Yes.
So when we were being taught about the program by our sponsors, we were told that it's okay to shift the mid-morning to a breakfast because of the Filipino lifestyle that we really have breakfast. So I wanted to ask if it's really true or it makes our program wrong if we make the mid-morning as breakfast.
So basically, the mid-morning meal, you will have it in breakfast because instead of having a shake, you'll actually have solid food.
Or you can do it simultaneously.
Like you'll have the shake in the mid-morning.
Yeah. No, yeah. So and then you won't have a mid-morning.
Or, yeah, honestly, the reason it's just laid out this way is really just to simplify it, to really just try to get it uniform all across the board. But there are many variations to this as well. You don't need to, for example, even the yes shake down below, that does not have to be here. Because at the end of the day, if you're following the program, following the portion sizes of the program, at the end of the day, it's still calories in versus calories out. This is intended to get you into a hypocaloric state, meaning you are consuming less than you're burning. So if that's the case, if you are hypocaloric, you're taking in less calories than you're consuming, you're still going to benefit and lose weight and get the benefits of the program. In fact, again, let me share, I use this, when I'm on this program, I do this with intermittent fasting. So I do not have any of these until lunchtime. But you know what's nice about that? I get to have all those things in lunch, and it just seems like a feast. Then I'll have another one in the mid-afternoon. I'll have my yes shakes. In fact, I will take 2 yes shakes at the same time, and then my meal.
And you won't
for
get
dinner
hungry
is
at
also-
night.
Sorry.
You don't get hungry. You don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to sleep better. You don't get the hunger pangs. Sorry. You don't get the hunger pangs that you used to do like before when you would carbo load. I agree with Doc. My lunch is my first.
Yes.
Food
It
as well.
is you can integrate this also with things such as intermittent fasting. Like I said, you can switch this on. It is like in any order really. The only thing that we would like for you to try to stick with are the supplements, the products.
Never
Take
miss
it as is, but with regards to the food choices, play around with it, whatever works best for your body and your schedule.
Tita Tina.
I see.
Tita Tina.
No, just, I think we already, we saw the first meal plan. Kasi this is revised.
Yes.
And the first meal plan was quite more strict, so it had less food intake. But adding these meals, no, and does it slow down the detox or weight loss process? Kasi medicines taken in the first meal plan.
That's a good question. Remember, I was talking about the patients that actually asked me or share with me that they hardly eat at all. I mean, they're probably getting only 500 calories a day, but they're having a hard time losing weight. That's because their body's metabolism has already slowed down. So I mean, you're going to have a hard time either way if that metabolism is not moving. So the purpose now of the products now is to help revamp the metabolism. But at the same time, because if you look at the portion sizes for men and women, you're still likely going to end up, given all this, if you follow it the way that it's listed, you're still going to end up hypocaloric. Because there's something called TDEE, that's the total daily energy expenditure. that's how much energy is required for you on a daily basis in order to sustain yourself. If you go past that TDEE, you will gain weight. But if you go below that, you're going to lose weight. That's what I mean by hypocaloric. So when I was looking at this also, looking at reviewing the portion sizes, for most individuals, that's going to be still below your total daily energy expenditure, making you hypocaloric, which means you will still lose weight over time.
Even if they added more in, like more.
Yes, because if you look at it naman, the portion sizes, you add them all up, you're still going to be under or hypocaloric. You're still not consuming more than your or yes.
What is the question?
Sure. Yeah.
After the first ticket, and we need to continue, is it recommended that we take a break, like what they were saying, take a break for 1 week before you start the break? Okay lang, sunod-sunod.
I guess it depends on the person. For me, just down to keep going. So you have momentum there.
Yeah.
But you already have momentum. So if you have that momentum and it's successful for you, there's no need to stop it.
How about plateaus? Kasi minsan, parang people feel or think it's not taking effect anymore.
Okay. So plateaus do happen. They do happen. When that happens, what you need to now revisit is how many calories your body actually needs on a daily basis. Because it could be that you're eating naman too little. If you're eating too little, your body is going to eventually pick up on that, and it will go into survival mode. It will think that it is starving, so it will hold on to your fat stores. So times like that, you might actually need to eat more in order to get your body to say, okay, I'm not starving anymore. Let's burn fat again. So you do that for about a week, 2 weeks. Balik ka sa program, it should start to kick in. It should start to kick in. So when you start to see a plateau, revisit now the recording of what you've been eating. Chances are you're eating too little, which means now you need to increase the calories. So your serving sizes, and then see what happens.
Because I've been, I'm doing some I'm trying to be active, so I do workouts like 2 to 3 times a week. I do team sports, I play badminton. So do you recommend reshuffling the orange and blue days?
Yes, so if you're an athlete, if you're active, then you don't necessarily need to have orange days all the time. You can go ahead and do blue days really every day if you're that active. I mean, if you're working out, treat that day also as a blue day. That's not a problem.
How to be?
Sorry.
He's waiting for that answer.
Yeah, because I play siguro mga 2, 3, 4 hours.
So, wow. Okay, so
that's
that's
not-
Para pala Lorna, dancing every day, blue days.
definitely dancing morning days. Yeah, morning days. Yeah, you deserve it.
TikTok.
You earned it then. Sure, definitely. Again, at the end of the day, blue days or not, it's still the amount of calories that you're taking in. And again, it takes it's already taken into account with the portion sizes. You're still going to benefit. But yes, I recommended that you stick to blue days only when you exercise. Or on the days that you're really supposed to.
Or interchange.
Yeah, pwede rin.
Balik na rin.
You can. Yeah. Honestly, at the end of the day naman it's really what works best for your body. This is a guide. Most people that follow the guide now will be happy with this, but you can also...
So if you're coming in already active into the program, and let's say because they're plateauing, so they want to try the Tkit, so they can do the blue days every time they work out.
Yes, but then I would suggest if they're coming in from being active already,
Yeah.
try the system the way that it's listed out. Meaning,
Okay.
try to get that try to get the 2 days where you're not having carbs, and get back onto a carb diet, and then alternate again like that.
Okay.
And try to pattern your schedule to where on blue days, that's when you work out. Yeah. Now, if it happens that it falls on an orange day, then sige, yeah. Personally, if you're going to work out, just by having carb source. No. In general,
I'm just kidding.
no, personally, let's say you're working out. If you work out on that day, even just having a carb source right after that workout is enough. You don't have to. It doesn't mean you need to have all of the carbs of the whole day. Just have that recovery carbohydrate after the workout. So okay, you're good. Yes.
So, I have a question kasi she said the word plateau. So naalala ko when I was still a member and I was trying to transform some people and they get into this plateau.
Yeah.
What actually, can you tell me what happens ba? Why is a person going through a plateau during the 28th day? What's wrong? Or is there something wrong that they're doing that's why the plateauing happens?
When you say plateau, because it's all relative, like plateau meaning like
The weight
baka
is
yeah,
not no longer changing.
it's the
Yeah,
weight.
for example, oo. Kasi ito, kunyari, first 2 weeks na lang bilang, bam,
Ah.
5 or 7. Tapos biglang on the midway through the second week, biglang wala na, tapos third week. So parang biglang na-disappoint, di ba? Kasi, so, iniisip ko, kasi hindi naman ako person of science, so I'm trying to figure out what's happening. What's happening ba in the body?
True.
Is it something natural or is it a person-to-person thing?
It's a person, yeah, correct. It's actually a person-to-person thing, and we also have to get into that question a little bit more deeply. Like, for example, are they exercising? Are these people exercising? Are they doing resistance training? Those are things to take into consideration because let's say the first 2 weeks. Let's talk about someone who doesn't exercise but went on the program for the very first time. Remember, safe weight loss is about 1 to 2 pounds a week. If they followed it, they kept their portion sizes accordingly. They were following the products, taking it the right way. Even if they did not exercise, they should still be able to lose the weight. Since they're just starting with the program, remember nutrition is at least 80% of the equation. They're likely still going to lose weight. And in fact, the first week or two, most of that weight is water weight. Because it's one of the things with alkaline, it helps pull out water. So that's why the first week you're like, I'm losing a lot of weight. But the weight is not the issue. The issue, I mean, the weight is parang secondary. It's the measurements. You gotta look at the measurements because the weight it will fluctuate every day. If I'm this weight today, even if I followed the program and didn't cheat, let's say, I did it the way that it said, if I had even a little bit more sodium, let's say I ate something that was more salty, when I stepped on the scale the next day, you're going to get heavier. Tataas yan because again, now you have more water and retention.
Okay, gets na. Makes sense.
Now, here's another thing. Let's say this, hypothetically, this person exercises. Okay, he exercises. They're doing the 2 weeks, they're losing weight, they're excited. Then you said the plateau sila, they start losing weight. It could be also that it's not that they're not losing weight, but they're also gaining muscle. Remember, muscle is heavier than fat. So, yeah, maybe they're not losing weight because they're maintaining that muscle mass, or they're gaining muscle mass as well. So that's why weight is not really what you should be looking at. It's really the measurements. You gotta look at the measurements.
Remember, better body challengers.
Paano na yun? Bumigat ulit.
That's why we have the weight measurement in our criteria. Kasama sa criteria natin the combination of the measurement and the weight.
I remember
Thanks,
my
Doc.
second week, I was gaining weight. I was like 129 bigla. But when I was washing the dishes, I noticed na parang I'm not leaning towards the kitchen sink more.
So you had space.
I was like, yeah, it's space. It's like, may space na siya. Like, hindi na ako yung parang gano'n kasi my tummy was so big. It's like, wow, I can, that's why your posture improved. That's one of the things I love about it, my posture improved.
Yeah.
So ay, pero when I look at the scale, I was like, ano to? Choke ba to? Yung gano'n. Tapos parang gusto mong iba-libag, yung mga ganyan. Kasi digital na ngayon eh. So, matagal mag-ship si Shopee. So, yeah. So, it's like, okay, it's not competitive. But yeah, the measurements really matter. Kasi even to this day, that's what I see now.
Yeah, more so. Yeah, I wouldn't be too much concerned about weight. It's measurements.
So Doc, we have a question from Zoom. So this is from Efren Crisostomo. First mo, nasasabihin niya, sabi ko niya, ang galing ni Doc, artista.
Baka dito eh.
Is it okay? Is it okay to take the ticket if you have vertigo? Opo.
It shouldn't be an issue as long as you, if you know that, because there are certain triggers with
Doc,
vertigo.
dito ka mag-sleep
My friend, there are certain Hindi, kasi there are certain triggers to vertigo. If one of those triggers are caffeine or too much sodium na, sometimes kasi the minerals may also cause bouts of vertigo if that's the trigger. So yun na, you have to know your triggers. If you know your triggers now are certain foods or certain ingredients, yun nga, you want to stay away from that. Because some people, at least some of our patients, one of the triggers is caffeine. So obviously passion, you don't want to be doing that. There's an alternative, by the way, which I forgot to mention, is the truth. But there's a caffeine, truth or fun, these are the caffeine-free versions. So yes, as long as you are not, or none of the ingredients found in the Tkit triggers are known triggers for vertigo, when you can definitely do it.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc.
Yes.
Efren.
Go ahead. Sige po.
How young or can young people take this, particularly teenagers? Because two of my kids, they're very active in their sport. They swim and train 1.5 hours a day for six days. So that's a different question. I'd like to ask you what they can take, because I think they're burning more than they take in.
Right.
On the separate side, I have friends who have kids who struggle with
Wait.
weight, and
Right,
everything.
right.
They're very worried at early stages of, what can we take this?
Absolutely. I mean, how old are we talking?
13.
Yes.
It really also depends on the age group, but for the most part, definitely yes, they can do that. If someone, especially a teenager is obese, then yes, they can use that. Because I can remember all these products are naturally sourced. They may be able to make do without the caffeine. They can take the caffeine-free version, use the fun or the truth in lieu of the passion. But again, if they're already, let's say 17, 18, yeah, they can go ahead and start also with the passion. That's personally what I would recommend. So if they're kind of, the age is 13, 14, 15, I would still suggest, do it, but stay away from or switch it to the caffeine-free version.
Thank you.
Yes.
No, I'm just wondering because do you think there will be an effect of that if you use the transformation kit for those who has hypothyroidism? Kasi diba, to those people who has hypothyroidism, they are struggling to lose weight. Do you think that will there be an effect if they use it?
I highly believe so, yes. Because again, we're trying to stimulate, we're trying to reset the body's metabolic clock. So even if their thyroid already has a pre-existing problem, you can still work on the other areas of the body as well to try to support the thyroid itself. And again, the results, that will really vary. But they're still better off following a program that will be balancing their pH and somehow resetting their metabolic clock rather than not doing anything.
Is turnover and passion safe for people with parang mga emotional or mental health issues like anxiety or those kinds of concerns? Won't it speed up whatever, they become more anxious or hyper?
For those individuals, I would highly recommend the caffeine-free version. For those individuals, they may be better off with something that does not stimulate the nervous system.
Questions? Abby, you have questions?
Wow, dapat payagan na natin si Doc.
The way
The,
version.
yeah, like some of them they break out or they just don't like the feel of it. Blame it on other programs that have really bad taste of shakes.
Oh.
So, but for them, like, which one can I do without the shake? Will it work for me? So,
Cool.
if it will work, right?
It'll still work. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're still replacing it with somewhat similar calories and macros.
Yeah.
So as long as you're still replacing it with something similar, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Substitute with protein food, pwede.
Yes, well, just a protein substitute.
If you really, especially if you reach like a certain like ako, sometimes ano na ako, don't mind, ganyan. But I love the lifestyle kasi of drinking it in the morning. So in the morning I could just like do eggs or turkey bacon like that, I can do that. Puro masarap. Or what's a quick replacement that you would recommend? Very similar
For the
yash.
For the yes shake is 90 calories. Better off with just a hard-boiled egg
Okay.
and then a slice of bacon.
A slice of bacon. May bacon pa rin.
slice.
Yay!
Okay, I mean that basic
Yay!
A slice.
Slice.
Ano flavor ng cake daw?
Cake?
Ano flavor ng cake? Kasi di ba a slice of cake, but what else?
Hindi, bacon.
No, bacon.
Ah, bacon. Oh my God.
Slice.
It's not a slice of cake.
Na-stock siya sa Blue Day. Na-stock siya.
So like,
No, collected na.
So sweet sa naisip niya eh.
Pwede mong lempo. Dalawang piraso niya.
Question, is there any parang over shake, over passion?
Yeah, do you get,
Wait, I'm sorry.
like can I drink for passion in the day?
Or for yes, instead of so much
For the
protein?
passion, I wouldn't recommend for a day. For the shake, you can. Only because, again, it depends
The
also on your
replacements
size.
of
Yes,
other
for the replacements. Like for me, I take two packets because I personally feel that 14 grams of protein, or is it 12 grams, is a little bit too low. So I'd rather have two. And you can use it naman anytime, and it's not going to be an issue as long as your body can handle also that much weight, which it usually can. But it's really up to the body. Yeah. Yeah, but the passion for a day, it's a lot. Grabe ka.
Not every day.
Not every day. Ako, may four
Day
sometimes.
workout.
Minsan
Extreme
two,
day
tapos
workout.
turbo burn.
I guess it depends on your body because I also have patients, and this is my brother Doc Gab included. He only takes half a sachet of passion, and he's wired. If he has
Sensitive.
a whole packet,
Sensitive.
it's hard to sort of racing. It depends on the person. So if you're not caffeine sensitive, you're likely going to be okay with 6 a day, but of course I still wouldn't recommend.
With sa passion to
No, with turbo burn, meron akong hapo feeling. To the point na I thought I had COVID. Kasi parang I felt so fatigued. Tapos parang, so, I didn't even think it was thermo burn because I never had any issues with passion when it comes to that. So it's like, oh my God, I even tested, like nag-antigen ako and all. So, negative, ganyan. Tapos parang sabi ni Ron, may baka something with Yoli. And like, oh my God, thermo burn. I was exercising, I didn't even know.
Oh, really?
Parang ganun yung pakiramdam. Parang I came off the gym and then I was so hapong-hapo.
Oh.
Yeah, ganun. And then, after that, there was like a few days that I weighed in. I lost some weight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Yun yung question ko, if thermo burn is working faster or better than a passion?
Personally, I don't think that there's a
Joe is our turbo burn ng masa.
No, I have a friend na I gave her a
Pero
ticket.
walang calories.
And then it was
Turbo
turbo
burn
burn
kasi
kasi
wala
wala
siyang
in the kit.
sensitive.
And then when she started taking it,
So, yun
nagkakaya siya. Turbo burn heavy already.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I
Shot in
feel
thermo.
like that it's a little more potent. Yeah, but honestly, at the end of the day, we really shouldn't rely on them as fat burners. Kasi you can take the best fat burner, but if you're still eating, you're eating foods that aren't good for you, you're overeating, you're still going to be in the same weight that you're in.
Kasi natakot lang siya dahil yung reaction ng body niya is heavy sweating. Sabi niya, Red, as in, grabe, basang-basaan na ako ng pawis na
Really?
to the point na
I get that also from
Okay,
from patients.
Mabilis kasi metabolism.
Oo.
So, mainit sa katawan siya.
Yes, may
Yes,
may pawisin.
wala naman siyang ginawa pero pinapawisan.
Actually, Peter, you're right.
That's why kahit wala kang exercise na kaya
Yes,
Yeah.
ito totoo.
It has-
When it's
Ang friends rin yung sabi ni John
One is
parang
enough, and then
tulog ka na nag-exercise ka.
jittery yung
Tingling.
lips ko, feeling,
Yeah.
natakot ako. But sabi nila, babe,
Oh, yeah.
just drink water, mawawala.
Yeah.
And then I noticed, mas mabilis akong nag-lose ng weight.
Yeah.
So every time na-feel ko na yun, yung mga water, sige, more.
Yeah. Tita, that's the reason why may ganun akong feel. Kasi I was dehydrated. I left the house early, drank the thermoburn. I was driving under the sun, nagtake yung car ko. So talagang, kaya pag uwi ko, I felt like parang hapong-hapo ako. Kasi I didn't have, there was no water.
But sana,
Like fun.
can I just say, again, we're too focused on the weight loss aspect. Remember, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It has raspberry ketones. So yes, it heats up the body a little bit more. And so likely that's why you also get dehydrated.
Yeah.
So you lose water, and what happens when you lose water? You lose weight. So it's like you're losing more weight with thermoburn, but at the end of the day, promise it's not fat. It's water.
It's water.
Yes, it's water.
Doctor, we have a question from Zoom. This is from Kerwin.
Daddy.
So he's the
Of course.
the Spartan guy. So Kerwin is asking, can you take thermoburn every hour, like in running?
One piece lang ba? Or 2 pieces?
Kailangan ng prescription. Kailangan ng pad, no?
Erwin, honestly, I personally wouldn't, but again, I'm not the runner also. Again, I would not suggest it, only because again, I personally do not run. I prefer to watch my nutrition rather than do cardio. But I know they do that because in running. I know you're an avid runner also, you do Spartans. I'd rather just veer on the safe side and say, no, I would not suggest that. But again, don't take my word for that, only because I'm just erring on the safer side. I would suggest no, at least until I look more into the thermoburn product. Because honestly, I use more passion. I can't answer that question with confidence.
Si Joe daw sa service ng
Oo nga,
pasa.
Joe.
Nag-thermoburn.
Paano kay Kerwin?
Ano kay Kerwin?
Passion every hour. Pwede mo passion every hour.
Thermoburn.
Thermoburn every
He's
hour.
running ano kasi marathon.
Yes.
Tagal
No,
nun
but for the
eh.
marathon,
Siyempre bumababa na yung energy niya.
Every day.
Yes.
Bakit
Yun ang tanong niya.
Yeah, kasi those, because
Because if
do
you're
that
doing
usually in
42
those types of
kilometers,
marathons.
Oo.
If you're doing 42 kilometers, every 20 or 15 kilometers, okay lang siya as long as he balances it out with water or with fat. Kasi if he overheats himself, if he loses too much water while running, then he's in trouble.
Kasi siguro, he's feeling the low energy na. Kaya tinatanong siguro kung pwede siya uminom. ng passion.
Instead of passion.
I haven't run as long as him,
Yeah.
pero I haven't tried as long as
So
him.
yun yung ano niya.
Theoretically,
Pero on the
if-
side na too much is
Pero
too much.
tingin ko dapat
Yes, and like I said, I rather err on the safe side. I don't know enough yet, at least about the ingredients when it comes to it.
Pero disclaimer, personal experience, I don't know if I never shared this with anyone, pero when we had the transformation event in March in BGC Siam, was that March or June? July. I did that event with 2 hours of sleep.
Wow.
I did that event with roughly 2 to 3 hours of sleep and with basketball in the morning.
Oh my God.
So for that BGC event of around 4 hours, I had 3 passions within that time. Well, I'm
So if
okay.
you awake lang.
But I wasn't running.
Yeah.
I wasn't running. I was on stage. I was going back and forth. And I ran that morning, na full exercise, but I'm okay. That's my extent of personal experience. So I had 3 passions during the event of about 3 hours. I had 1 passion in the morning for my workout. And then before I drove home, I took another passion. So 5 days, 5 passions on that day.
Wow. Mr. Energy ka na.
So, kaya athlete is
Kasama na ni Robby.
But again, disclaimer, I take fun like juice.
Like water.
Yes, I take fun like water. So I take multiple funs a day also. 4, 5, just to counter it also.
So Doc, ito last question from Instagram. Kasi
Oh,
there's someone following us on Instagram kasi nag-stories. She's asking,
It's safe yung ticket for breastfeeding moms.
Yes.
I would I will have to defer on that question. I think best to ask our other doctor, Dr. Bandola, about that. She's the pediatrician.
oh,
Or Dr. Sim. Normally when it's like that, for those that are pregnant, I would suggest first that well, not only ask your OB, but I would also personally I wouldn't start it yet unless you.
Ano lang,
Or at least
di ba sagot ni Doc kanina kay Curry, said, no guys, like, he's not into marathon. Sagot niya, he doesn't know kasi he doesn't rest.
And I don't rest. Yeah. Best to ask your OB with that type of or before starting a program like that.
Yung thermobird usually indicatory of safe for breastfeeding. But with passion kasi it's green. So if you're trying to lose weight while being pregnant, while breastfeeding, because I did that and it didn't affect my supply. Rather, I felt like it even increased.
When you were breastfeeding,
When I was breastfeeding, I did the sabi ko mas harmful pa yung iniinom kong maintenance sa anak ko, pero I still continued breastfeeding. So, doing the Tkit, was relatively safe for me. Kasi, I was eating better.
Yeah.
And the alkaline naman is magnesium.
There are actually many products naman that you can take while breastfeeding.
Yeah.
The only product that I would be more cautious about would be the patch. But if you're talking about probiotics like Pure, you're talking about whey protein shakes, that's really not an issue. You're
So
also
more the
talking,
anti-caffeine.
it's really just a passion if she will follow it to a T. Alkaline, not really worried about that either. But again, just to err on the safe side, always best to still ask you. But the only thing there that I am what do you call this, a little bit cautious about is the passion because of the caffeine that it has for breastfeeding.
Does thermobird have caffeine?
Yes,
It does.
yes, of course, it does. It has caffeine.
I think si passion more on cognitive improvement lang in a sense. Parang thermobird is like the way I see it, or the way I understand thermobird, if you're really doing an activity, pero if you want alertness, cognitive alertness, you want passion more. So when I know I'm gonna be out the whole day, spending a lot of energy outside, I think thermobird. And then when I'm just gonna be at home working, ganyan, passion.
So thank you so much, Doc Miguel, for being patient with us for we have like parang naging consultation na siya talaga this thing, right? Diba? But wait, you were very nurtured with all the information coming from our Doc, and thank you very much for that. But before closing our program, let me call it, of course.
Pwede mag-insert. Pwede mag-insert.
Yes.
For those online,
Nandun yung camera dahil.
hi everyone online, and for those here at the Yoli Experience Center, again, hats off to Miguel for doing what he did today. And this is history in the making, because this is Miguel's first talk in Yoli Corporate.
Yes.
And he handled it like a pro. He did your questions like he knew it 6 years ago, even before it started. So again, Miguel, good job. Thank you.
Thank you so much also, Joe. And before closing our program for tonight, let me call on, of course, our coffee jam manager for a special message.
Hello, Efren.
Ano ba yung number nito?
Parang may kulang.
Yeah, Kerwin,
Yes, sabi ko
of
pa.
course. And hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much to our guests this afternoon for that great dance. Thank you to Lorna for bringing Lars, who is going back to us as member because he saw the opportunity after some talks this afternoon. Also, welcome to our new member, Rina, right? Welcome to Yoli, and thank you for giving Joe a chance to bring you here. I hope you are enjoying as much as everyone. And of course, to all of our constant leaders, and happy to see Abby here as well. So Abby's into a lot of business, so you can also talk to Abby. But basically, the reason I also wanted to say or to go here is to say thank you, Doc Miguel. I remember last year when we were in my room, I was asking him, Doc, paano ba mag-present? Kasi nga I wanted to understand bakit siya nagna-number 1 that time sa contest, di ba? So, sabi ko, paano ba? So, he was starting to share like when a patient comes in, paano mo i-intro yung Yoli. And then, when he was speaking the same way as he is introducing the Tkit to us, I said, okay, even I myself, if I am your patient, I will definitely do the transformation kit. So, and you really nailed it this afternoon. Like, you've been presenting for so many times on the stage. So, thank you so much for your expertise, basically. And we hope, charge. But we hope this is just the first of many because I guess I just also want to recognize that most of the people here are actually our top performers, our consistent leaders who have been with us anywhere. Kumbaga kahit saan tayo magpunta, kasama namin kayo. This is just the start of 2023. But I really believe that this year will be something very special because you are leading the way, basically. I just want to recognize that you guys are our partners and you will be our army to grow Yoli Philippines this 2023. So we from the corporate team, Red, Jim, Annie, who are diba? Galing din ang mga dancers, diba? Na lumalabas na yung mga talents sila paunti-unti. Or, actually, hindi naman, marami silang talent. So, ngayon talagang in-out mo nila because I guess they also feel comfortable being with the Yoli community. But we're just excited for 2023. And because of the same efforts that you will be doing or more, there are a lot more that you will be getting as a reward for your efforts, which we will be announcing in Palawan. So, if may mga gusto pang kumabal, ako pa si Jim. So, if may mga gusto pang kumabal, kahit mahirapan si Jim, I'll make sure that Jim, kung gusto pa sa inyo kumabal to join us in Palawan, January 29 to February 2. Just let us know because it's a great experience to also celebrate with the entire community, with the employees, with the members. And we are represented by all of the territories, US, Canada, and the Philippines. So we can't wait, 2 weeks to go. But after today, I think I'll redo the transformation kit the best way I can in the next 2 weeks because of the learnings that I got from tonight. So thank you again, everyone, and thank you for everything you did for you. Okay, and of course, di ba, parang tayo may mga pasabog. So, ngayon pasabog natin yung pagalingan ni Doc Miguel. But, kung sabi nga ni Jim, ang dream, co-host na kasama sa Stacy's show, we can't thank Joe enough because every time we ask him, hindi talaga niya ako ever sinabihan ng no, hindi ako pwede. He always finds the way. Kahit may nakaschedule na siya, he will always say yes to Yoli. So thank you, Joe. And this is the first time we will be seeing Joe's video. This is the watching of Joe.
May premiere pala, hindi ba ako nasabihan? Nakalimutan yung bouquet, pakikuya, pakikuha lang.
The launching of Joe's
Kaya hindi ko alam yung premiere. Kasama ko sa MMM.
Galing na
I love it. Narinig ba? Ay!
Fresh from abroad, moved back into the Philippines, I was a size 36. And for someone who's my height, at size 36, I was wrong. I couldn't see my way. After the transformation trip, all of that changed. It started off with me taking supplements, following a 28-day program, and sticking with it multiple times until I got what I wanted. And what did I get? I got a body which is better now than it was 15 years ago. I have a body which allows me to lead sports. I have a body which my kids give up because they keep on.
Miss ka daw ni Mimi Lani.
Sorry.
They're watching it now.
Oh, they're watching it now?
Zoom.
Kaka sa Zoom. Ay, di wala pala.
Ayan, mas malakas.
Uy, I heard that.
Let's do it.
Inspiring ka daw, sabi
Fresh
niya.
from abroad.
Ano ba yan? Ay, wait na, sorry. Let me fail. Hold on.
Okay, ganyan na.
For someone who's my height, at size 36, I was wrong. I couldn't see my way. After the transformation trip, all of that changed. It started off with me taking supplements, following a 28-day program, and sticking with it multiple times until I got what I wanted. And what did I get? I got a body which is better now than it was 15 years ago. I have a body which allows me to do sports. I have a body which my kids give up on because they keep on saying, "Dad, enough, I'm tired, let's go to bed," and that's fine. Because back then, I was a father of almost 40 years old, but with 2 toddlers, and I was thinking, I'm going to keep up with these 2 toddlers as they age. And 6 years later, I'm happy because I got to drive, I got to jump, I got to exercise, I got to play, and I got to even know what they need to do. You don't need to transform your life to have physical. Because when your body feels good, you feel good. Transform your mental, transform your emotional. Because little did I know, along with that great box of products was a great community to go along with it. It lifts you up. They believe in you more than I believe in myself. And that is life changing.
Thank you.
That concludes our Better Mind, Better Body event this evening. Thank you all so much for coming.
Maraming salamat.